All right, everyone, welcome back to another Watch and Talk here, Automotive Anatomy. That was the second time I had to do the intro. I don't know, I always get like tongue twisted. Um, Automotive Anatomy, Automotive Anatomy. It's been 4 years and I still get tongue twisted. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Watch and Talk here. Just kind of want to tune in. I'm gonna do my best to not say because I even hear myself. So just want to say thank you wherever you're at, wherever you're tuning in from. I see a lot of comments from like East Coast, and that's super cool. Just think that there's somebody out in the East Coast watching the show or the channel, however you want to call it, and knowing the fact that there's some people in my same city that don't know that the channel exists, which is pretty cool. It just gives you the power, or like the point of view of the power of the internet. And that's kind of what I wanted to discuss today. The power of the internet, how much influence it has on us. The reason why I wanted to discuss this is because Joey Lee posted a couple things that, were circulating around the interwebs. And one of them was something along the lines of like, I'll see if I can find it. I don't think I can find it, but he was, in essence, I can't find it, but in essence, he was saying, defending or making a point or a statement for authentic parts. And he says something along the lines of, if you don't buy authentic parts, A, you're cheap, or B, you just don't see the importance of the hard work and labor that it goes into creating these authentic parts, or to purchase these authentic parts. And you guys know I'm very like open-minded. I'm like, yeah, I can see. For me, I think it would be a C option. And that option would say something along the lines of, there's definitely, I'm not going to, try to convince you that authentic parts is not as, are not as good as a rep. I think that we could agree that authentic parts, it's cool to have them. It's cool to be able to say, oh yeah, this part is authentic. It comes specifically from the specific shop wherever it was manufactured, than to have a style or a rep. But I think that the option C for me would be, it's not that someone's cheap or that they don't value the authenticity of the part. I just believe they may have other priorities. And so why I wanted to discuss the power of the internet is, when you put something like that, I feel like there's a big mass of people who right away thumbs it up. They say, I agree. This is the reason why, there's a difference in builds, right? The ones that they have the most expensive parts, authentic, one of one, like those are cool. Don't get me wrong. There is definitely something to say about that, because there's more money spent, there's more time invested. We're trading time for money, or money for time, however you want to say it. And so when you go and you purchase a part like that, you should be happy, you should be proud, you should be excited to say, if somebody asks, hey, are those parts authentic? And so from my end, it's just mostly like, I like the C option, because it allows me on a personal level to say, well, what if I am cheap, but what if I'm not? You never know. Maybe somebody makes, quite a bit of money, and they just don't want to buy something authentic and pay the tax on that authenticity, or as we now call it, quote unquote, rare. How about the second option? We don't see the value of how authentic and the labor that went into it. I like the C option just because, to me, the way I would word it would be, I have other priorities in life than building a car. Now, not trying to say that he's wrong, because definitely we're all entitled to our opinion. I think he brings up a great point. I think that, he also made some other comments about carbon fiber and things of that nature. I don't really remember 1,000%, but it was something along the lines of, the full flex nowadays is having bits and pieces that add on to the carbon fiber, not showing the carbon fiber And I've told you guys I like carbon fiber that is painted. So I agree with that on with him. And again, to the whole idea of authenticity versus reps, I don't agree or disagree with him. I think that we all have entire point of views, but I think that the biggest message that I would want to send to somebody is, look, I personally don't care if you have rep wheels or not. I don't. I really don't. I think that for me to say, oh wait, I've gotten so many questions about my wheels. Where are those rotos or are those the real thing? And to me, it cracks me up because they are Riga Masters. They are from Russia or whatever. It me on a personal level, if there were rotas, I would tell you they're rotas. I don't care. Is there benefits to it to have the authentic thing versus the non? Of course, there's this should be lightweight. The quality should be better. But what if I just don't want to have the real thing and I buy some replicas and I'm saving for something bigger in my life? I don't know about you guys. For me, there's more to life than cars. So if I don't have the authentic part, it doesn't kill me. That also applies to anything else that other people post. If I didn't get to go on a vacation this year, it's okay. I got other fish to catch. I have other goals. I have other things that I'm concerned about. Shoot, we may even have real life problems that are preventing us from spending any dollar bill. And I don't know, I feel that to me, I shouldn't have to justify or explain myself if some of the parts that I bought for my car are real or fake. And even if they're quote unquote fake, man, if I like it, who cares? I've always said it. Yes, there's the cars that have quality parts will fit better. They will look better. There's no doubt about that. The functionality of it should be better. We have seen some pictures of some, reputable wheels, one piece forged wheels that get bent and destroyed at the track. So it's bound to happen. I mean, they're pieces of metal and will break, will bend. Like that's it. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there that like this whole car thing, but they're not fully consumed by it. So they're not willing to pay the $10,000. I do apologize about the watermark. They're not willing to pay the $10,000 that somebody wants for their spoon cluster. Now, there's somebody out there who's like, I'm going to pay it. I don't care. That's fine. It doesn't make them bad or good. It just makes them, able to buy that thing. It's no different than when I was discussing about the FL5. People bought it. Who cares? Now, yes, there was strong comments on the comment section on that video on how we felt, a lot of us, which is there's no way I would pay that much, but it doesn't make it right or wrong if somebody else does. It makes it what it is. I guess what I'm trying to say that the power of the internet has a lot on the way we continue to, I guess, share our thought process, the way we want to impact people. That's the reason my videos are not going viral, because I'm not talking toxic things. I'm not showing violence. I'm not showing negativity. Things that the algorithm loves and things that most people love. Nobody wants to hear about how you should be open-minded and, respect all bills and it's okay because we all have different priorities. Nobody wants to hear that. They just want to hear, no. It's real or nothing. If your wheels are replicas, man, don't even show up to the meet. Come back when you have, the real thing. Because somehow that's going to make your build so much better. I don't know. I had a discussion with Mata about my front lip on this scoop. And he told me, the OEM lip looks so much better, dude. I said, yeah, it does. But I wanted something different. Yeah, but that lip doesn't fit the car. It's not even an Accord lip, and that's okay, man. No problem. At the end of the day, if you want your car to look simple and clean, sure, lower it on some spoon wheels. 85% of the time, it's gonna look clean. Lower in, on OEM lines and put some TEs. 95% of the time, it's gonna look clean. That's it. Like that. That's it. Cool. If you want to be different, if you want to put something different to your car, go for it. I think that that's the point that we're missing, especially here in America. We often see something in Japan and we're like, whoa, that's so cool. They're so innovative. They're so, willing to do things that blah, blah, blah. That, they're pushing their back. Like, do they just drive their cars? Do they use quality stuff? I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's some people that don't. I've never been to Japan. I don't know the whole culture there. However, what I get to see on car meets is that there's $150,000 GTR fully built, and then next to it there's like these, budget freaking Honda Civic, and they're not even tripping. They're just like, whoa, they're admiring both for what they are. I think here we caught ourselves in this notion that everything has to be one way or the highway. And I'm a true believer in that. Nah, man, like anybody who shows up to a car meet, they're enthusiasts in their own way. Whether they drive a $100,000 car or a $5,000 car, we don't know people's situations. We shouldn't say, well, sorry, bud, come back when you have the real deal. Because I think it creates this false ideology that this is the only one way. Now, again, I'm not saying that he's wrong or that anybody that agrees with him is wrong. No, by any means. I see their point. I understand. That's why these Regal Masters fit very nicely. They're good specs, they're blah, blah, blah. But if I come across some Rotas that have the same specs, I'm buying them. I don't care. It's I like the specs, I like them. And the wheel choice for 4x114 is very, very minimal. I've been thinking about buying some Rotas, 4x114, 17x9 plus 12 offset. And somebody say, oh, they look like fake TEs, right? Damn, bro, like just go 5-lug and buy a T. I don't want to. Or I've heard this before. Yeah, that thing is not real, Oh, okay, what does that mean? Well, did they just, it's the fake thing. So what? I don't understand what you're trying to say. I saw this with this car. I'm not gonna say the make or model. It was a car that was converted, and I was like, wow, that's super cool. It's like one of those cars that you don't get to see. It's not like an Integra front end conversion. No, it's like a major conversion where they swapped everything. And somebody said, that's not the real deal. He converted this and this and this, and he used this in this car. Yes, the real deal would have been cooler, right? To an extent, because it's an actual whatever. But I also love the fact that somebody took the time and said, let me swap everything out and make it as original as it possibly can on a car that, it's very, very similar. I don't think it reduces that build to nothing. Yeah, it sure is not the real deal, but the fact that somebody did it, I think is pretty cool. There's the school of thought that the Type Rs, don't mess with those. Don't touch them. And, somebody goes and K-swaps a Type R. Oh, how dare he? How dare she? Why? Why do we think that we know what's right and what's wrong for somebody else? And I think that the internet, it's allowing people to just freely continue to share their opinion. And in my opinion, it's alienating certain individuals. For that family guy, that grown adult who has a mortgage, who has 2-3 kids, a fourth one on the way, I don't know, and they're trying to build their car, and they come across something that says, hey, like your rep wheels don't matter here. It can be very demotivating. And I'm here to say, look, My red Accord has fake wheels. Now, Ralph always claims they might not be fake because I don't think there was any other wheels that they copied them. They're fake, Ralph. They're Sport Max. I'm okay with that. They've been great. They've never been. Of course, now that I said this, I'm sure in the future. And to me, I think that's the problem that I've had. And I've had this issue of clicks. And I've shared that with a few people, especially like in the Accord community. I don't really hang out with a lot of Accord people, which is weird, right? Because I'm all Accords, 1,000%. The reality is that Jackie didn't always look like this. Gus didn't always had a YouTube platform. Gus didn't always had an Instagram platform. Sadly, you get treated a little bit different once you have this make-believe social media number on your Instagram. Don't even get me started once I get that blue check, because oh my gosh, that blue check is going to mean that I'm somewhat really important in the internet. And I'm not trying to diminish or downplay the support that you guys have given me, but I'm also trying to remind myself, guys, you're a freaking regular ass Joe. No pun intended to Joey. I'm a regular ass dude. Don't think that you're, somewhat special because your videos get a couple thousand views. Sure, you're providing a service for somebody else. You're asking the questions of, hey, what's the wheel spec on this? And people are tuning in because they want to know the wheel spec, but they will not subscribe. They will not like the video. One day they'll wonder, hey, what's up with this guy? How come he doesn't, his videos don't get more views? Well, you're not liking the video. Now, whether you like it or dislike it, I'm still going to continue to make videos as long as I can. If personal things come up, if I don't have the time, if I get bored, if I dislike it, I'll stop. I'll go do something else. What? I don't know. But I'll go do something else. And then somebody's going to be like, man, this guy stopped making videos. Why? Because you have to understand, people graduate from certain things. People want to move on. But as long as I can, I'm going to try to utilize the internet to my advantage to be able to continue to provide some cool experiences and some cool information that all of us are benefiting from. I go back and, I was telling my buddy, I'm blanking on his name right now. He drives a TSX. Is it Victor? I think it's Victor. I was like, dude, I went back to look at your wheel specs on the TSX because there's 17x9, if I'm not mistaken. And he had like a beefy tire set. I'm like, what was it? And I think it's like 225/40. And I'm like, I want that look. I love the way your car looks. And even though my sedan is smaller, whatever, but I was DMing him. I was like, yeah, dude, this is what I really, he's like, oh yeah, man, it's cool. And whether they were real, they were real tees, whether they were knockoffs, I would have still gone back and looked at that video to check out their wheel specs. So I'm like, dude, I really like that stance. So I guess what I'm trying to do is just trying to continue to share positivity, to say, hey, I'll talk about myself. My sedan looks a certain way. Could I go H? Could I go K? Yes. I just don't want to spend money on that right now. Legit, I don't. Jackie, I really like the way she drives, the way she looks. I don't want to spend more money on her. Is there more things I want to do? Yeah, I wish I can go K on both. I wish I can cage one of them. I wish I can maybe gut the sedan, put a cage, put a K, respray it, X, Y, and Z, you name it. But at the moment, I'm like, for what? I buy one thing and then the next day is going to be some other thing. And the next thing is going to be some other thing because the algorithm keeps pushing me things that other people are buying. It keeps me on this loophole of like, hey guys, like you're falling behind or you're somehow not successful because you're not buying, parts. And especially when they're not authentic. It's like, damn. And again, kudos to those. Obviously, 90+% of our interviews are cars that are super, expensive, to say the least. Owners have gone above and beyond to say, I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on this quality part, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that they're authentic. I don't have an issue with that. That's great. But I also want to speak up for those that maybe cannot afford that. It's fine. Maybe don't want to afford that. That's even better. It's okay. I think we get caught up on this idea that one way, is the only way and everything else is wrong. And so, I don't know. I think we're constantly are being bombarded with ads. Buy this, don't miss out, especially the holidays. If any of you guys actually celebrate Christmas or any other type of religious or holiday events that you are, I don't know if I don't know if the word required is appropriate, but if you're required to give gifts, there is a sense of pressure. Like, damn, man, like, gotta buy some stuff for my kids, gotta buy some stuff for my family members, and maybe I'm running low on cash, maybe, but I still have to do it, type of thing. Maybe you're good financially. It's just, man, some deal came up and you're like, I'm not gonna buy those wheels right now. I know that's me. I've kicked myself in the head over it. There was some SSRs. I forgot RG3. I forgot the name of the wheel. But they came out in 16 by 8, 4 by 1, 14.3. I was like, well, are these even real? I don't know if they were real, to be honest with you, because I've never seen the specs like that. And they were selling them for like 1,200. I was like, I don't think these are real, but they look legit. And it looked like it was, I'm like, I don't know. But the specs, I was going based on the specs. I'm like 16 by 8 plus 36, I think. I'm like, I can make those work on Jackie. I can make them work on Rosie. Well, I wanted them, like, nope. I gotta save some money, because that same month I had bought one of the lenses for the camera. I really wanted a lens. I've been bugging my wife for like at least 6 months. I'm like, I really want a lens. I feel like it would improve the quality of this. And she's like, we'll get it. And I was like, no, I gotta be, gotta do, be due diligent. I have to be diligent, and I have to make sure I take my time. It's okay. Delay gratification. Anyways, I ended up buying that lens. It came out to like 1,100. It's pricey, especially for someone like me who doesn't, that's not my 9 to 5. That's not, like, if you do photography or like they're like, yeah, that's cheap. Larry Chen, I'm sure, walks around with $15,000-$20,000 lenses. I don't know. I mean, they're huge. They're amazing. His photography is amazing. Same thing with Joey Lee. His photography is amazing. I'm like, damn, I'm always sending it to Easy. Like, man, how do they do this? And so 1,100 for me on a lens is quite expensive. And so when those wheels came up, and then they had like a Thanksgiving, some 10% off or 20% off, I don't remember, but they were like $860. And I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, should I buy them? Now, you guys know I'm not here to brag or anything like that. $860 is not, thank God, it's, or the universe, whatever you believe, it's not a major deal in my life right now. It's not about not being able to. It's more about having a structure and saying what's important. Is that really important? Could you use that money to do something better in your future for you and your family? Could it be, is it really necessary? And these are all the questions that I have. Now, some people don't have those questions. They just buy it. Who cares? And that's fine. That's great. But that's kind of the way my mentality works. So things do take time for me. If I do end up, buying some extra set of wheels, great. I hope they're the right wheels. But I have been telling my wife quite a bit that I don't want to buy anything for the cars, because I feel like I'm just putting little bandages on not buying something newer or something, but then I'm thinking about like location, and I'm like, okay, if I buy something newer, there's no way I can park on the street. So all these things kind of go in my head, and I guess you could say that all these are the things that are preventing me from buying more stuff. And that's the way I choose to go about it. It doesn't mean that if you don't think the same way as I do, then you're wrong. No, by any means. Some people will just buy their things, and that's fine. I think different. I want to live my life different. That's it. So, and there's always a good deal, believe it or not, right? Especially when there's part outs, you're like, oh my goodness, I could use this, I could use that. Or buddy Evan from Northern Cali's parting out with his Accord sedan, H swap cage, 5 lug BC coilovers, some sick wheels, $4,000. I'm like, oh my god, if I had the space, I would go buy it. That's the same guy I bought the E30 from. Again, you know. Or my other buddy from San Diego, Soul. He was like, hey man, I'm selling my CPR wheels. Like I know you want 4x114. It's a good deal. So he sent me the money. I mean the number, and I'm like, damn, that's a good deal. On even then, I was like, would you go $200 less? And he was like, nah, man. Like I'm like, I get it. But I told him like, I'm not in the market. Like as much as I want them, it just nah. Maybe he changed my mind. Maybe he sells them for somebody to somebody, and I'll be like, oh, I should have bought them. Maybe, I don't know. It's not the end of the world for me. I guess I'm somewhat aware that the next deal will come up. And this didn't start yesterday, guys. Like when I was going to college, I had $50 to my name every 2 weeks for 2 weeks. I needed to make sure that I spent those $50 on either my girlfriend at the time or myself, and then the rest was bills. So yeah, I've learned how to say no to things. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's just me, and that's just the way I continue to go about doing things. So yes, these Riga Masters that I'm wiping down with a different blue towel, because I know some people are like, it's the same blue towel. It's not. It's a different one. And I'll prove it because my buddy Kevin, who we interview, he gave me a drying towel. So thank you so much for the wash and talk. So I know you tune in. Thank you so much, dude. I will use it. Trust me, I will. You know. But yeah, the internet has a lot of power on you. Hopefully, you guys use it for the positivity, to increase the positivity in your life and the well-being of your family. So appreciate you guys so much for taking the time to tune in. And as always, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.